Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Lamdre. Homage to Master Sakya Zengkong. And homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Tupten Torchi. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of the group practice this evening, Mahajundi Buddha Mother. Sumu Danzen Gacho. All Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, all disciples present here and over the internet. And our participating VIPs tonight only two who registered themselves, and the least number of just special guests ever. The Madam to Ambassador Daniel Liang, the Rep of Republic of China, Taiwan to Sweden and Norway, Dharma Sister Judy, and Dr. Su Lin. So what happened? You didn't want to register yourself as a VIP. They just want to be ordinary people. It's my first time to just read two people, because I noticed there are many people came from other places outside of Seattle, or there are many people who are here for the very first time, or who did not introduce themselves. So, if in the future I cannot remember your names, that's okay, that's normal, because you didn't tell me your names. Actually, it is extremely difficult to recognize all of my disciples. But if you always stand up to introduce yourself, then at least I would recognize you and I know your name. If it is a beautiful young lady, then there is no need for her to introduce herself, then I would notice her. Whether they come from faraway places or nearby, I would recognize you if you're extremely beautiful. There's no need for them to introduce themselves. So, the main deity for the practice tonight is Mahajundi Buddha Mother. And before the Dharma teaching, first, I would like to say my greetings. Good evening, everyone. How do you do?
这里面没有放大准提佛母的资料，
They didn't
但
put
是呢，我
anything on
常
Mahajundi
常
Buddha
给
Mother.
大家灌顶大准提佛母。
But I
灌顶的
often
时候啊，有
give
很多人就问
empowerment
我
of Mahajundi Buddha Mother.
这个，
And
请问
during the empowerment,
本
they
尊
asked
是
me,
大准提佛母，
so
那
if
护法
my
是什么？
personal deity, Yidam, is
我
Mahajundi,
跟他们
who
讲，
would be my protector,
还是大准提佛母。
then I would tell them, then it would also
这
be
个准提佛
Mahajundi
母，它
Buddha
可以
Mother,
当本尊，
because Mahajundi can be considered as
因
Yidam
为它
as
的法
well
力
as a
非常的
protector,
大。
because she has tremendous power.
像我在讲，我平时啊，我都有在做，每一
Like
天几乎
every
都在做
day,
超度。
I would
我
perform
以
the
前讲
Bardo
过，
deliverance,
在
as
电
I
视
said
机
before,
面前，
like
只要有
in front of the TV,
哪边有车祸、人死亡，
whenever I
我就在
see
电视
car
机面前，
accidents
我就做超度。
or people dying or death,
哪里
then I would perform Bardo
有这个
deliverance
天
right
灾，
while watching
有多
TV.
少人死亡，
Or if there's a
我
natural
也就是做
disaster
超度。
and how many people,
天灾
then
啊，
I would perform the
地
Bardo
变，
deliverance for
人祸，
the
只要
deceased.
看到电视上，
So whether it's natural disasters or calamities created by human beings, as long as I notice anybody suffering from death
就做
or
了
they
这个事
died,
情。
then I would perform the Bardo
我也
deliverance
为
while
自己
watching TV.
累世所
I
犯的
also
杀生之业做超度，
Bardo delivered
然后啊，天
all
上
the
飞的
people
啊，
that
飞禽
died in
飞
all my
禽
previous
在地
lives
上
that I
爬，
caused to die,
这个走兽
including the
大
flying
的呢，
birds,
最
those
地
with
上
wings, or
大象
mammals on land,
啊
like
我
the
都
biggest
超度，
one is elephants,
河马 也超度，
rhinos, I would Bardo
熊
deliver them,
我也超度，
bears,
大蟒蛇我也超度，
and
一直到
huge
最小
snakes,
的蚂蚁，
and into
我全部
the
超度。
smallest ants, I
地
Bardo
上
deliver
爬的
them all.
天上飞的
Those who crawl on the ground, those who fly in the sky,
我认识
eagles,
的鸟类
birds,
几乎全部都做超度，
and I Bardo deliver them all,
啊，包括人
including human
啊，以前
beings.
我以前当过军人14年，
I was in the military for 14
当然
years.
没有正式的作战，
I was
但是我
never
累世之间
in wars. However, in all my past lives,
的这个我参与作战的方面
I have been
的
involved
所有
in
的生命
wars.
我全部超度，
So I have Bardo
包
delivered
括
all the
baby
lives
baby 小的时候，那个刚出生的
that
baby，
died,
有些是
including
好像
babies
是
that died at birth
堕胎死，
or died
或者
due
是
to
小孩子
abortions
出生不久，还有其他的疾病，过往
children who died
我全
young,
部做超度。
or those who died from sicknesses. I Bardo
那么
delivered
到
them all.
到海底，从最大的鲸鱼
And at the bottom of the ocean, from the biggest whales, sharks,
到最大的到最小的鱼，
to the smallest one,
全部做超度。
they all have
海
been
底
Bardo
的
delivered,
所有的，连海参、
including
海参啊
sea cucumbers,
虾子，一
or
切我全部通通都
shrimps.
做超度。
I Bardo delivered them
天
all.
上飞的，
Those who fly in the sky, those who crawls on
这
the
个
ground,
海底
those who
的所有的
swim
生物，
in the ocean,
几乎你能够知道的，
all the living
我全部
beings
都超度过了。
that you can think of
那有一
have
天
been
呢，
Bardo delivered.
我就很高兴，
One day I
我
was
说我
very
也超度
happy.
的差不多了，而且
I have
牛、
Bardo delivered just
羊、
about all of them.
马
Cows,
斑马
sheep, horses,
所有的
zebras,
所有的水牛、
buffaloes,
耕田的牛、
and
拉路
farming
的牛，
oxen,
还有乳牛、
dairy
种种的
cows,
牛、
all kinds of
种种
cows,
的羊、
all kinds
种
of
种的鹿，
sheep, all kinds of deer,
我全部都懂知道的，全部都超度。
all that
我就
I could think
跟
of,
准提
I
佛
have
母讲，
Bardo delivered. And I told Mahajundi Buddha Mother,
我现在每天做超度，应该这样
nowadays
大
I
概
Bardo deliver
超
every
度
day.
完了吧？
I should have finished them all, right? Bardo
有
delivered them
一
all,
样
right?
你没有超度，
And then Mahajundi told me there's one
我
left,
说怪了，
one kind.
所有的人我都超度过了，
And I said,
包
really?
括我自
I
己
have
的
Bardo
祖先，
delivered all the human beings, including my ancestors.
还有什么东西没有超度过？
What else that
我
I
连
have not
蚂
Bardo
蚁、
delivered?
连蚯蚓，
I Bardo delivered even ants and worms,
这小动物啊，
the
蜜
tiny
蜂啊、
animals,
苍蝇啊、蚊
bees,
子啊，
flies, mosquitoes.
我全部都超度了。还有
I
没有
have
超度
delivered
的东
them
西
all.
呢？
There's still something left.
结果准提跟我讲，
And then Chundi told me,
你蛤蜊没有超度。
oh, you did not Bardo deliver the
什么？
clams.
大家知道蛤蜊吗？
Do you know?
就
Good.
是小小的、
Tiny,
小小的那个贝壳，
tiny
蛤蟆
clams. Tiny
有大
shells.
的蛤蟆，有小的蛤蟆。
Yeah.
那我们
Big
西雅图有象爬，
Shells and tiny shells
象爬蚌我也超度，
or clams.
象爬蚌
Oh,
我真的
in
有超度。
Seattle we also have geoduck,
但是
and I
跟
Bardo
我
delivered
跟我
that
讲
too.
蛤蜊你没有超度，
But she told me you
蛤蜊
did
是
not
蛤蟆那个很小的，
deliver the
很小
tiny
黑黑的
clams
有没有？
with the
那个打开来
black
很小只
shells.
的我们煮那个米索西露，
Sometimes they put it into the miso siru, miso soup,
说可以对肝很好。
and they say it's good for the liver.
那个汤对肝好像很好，那个叫蛤蜊是吗？
Do you?
嗯，
Is it curly?
台湾话叫辣，
In Taiwanese, it's called la. In Chinese,
我就叫不出来，才不懂得操
I
作。
don't know
我就
the name, so that's why I didn't Bardo deliver them.
谁讲说蛤蜊是谁在讲？
Who said it was curly in Chinese?
辣，我们台湾话讲辣。
In Taiwanese, it's called la.
以前小的时候，就是说，好像到高雄，我小的时候在高雄
When I was little,
长大。
I grew up in
高
Kaohsiung,
山后面有一条
and
叫
behind
做宝
the
珠
train
河
station, there was a
经
ditch,
常去那里游泳，
like a small
游
ditch.
泳。
I often swam there, and at the same time, I would pick some clams,
变猛啦，就抓了很多的，
and I got a lot of this kind of tiny
抓
clams,
了很多。
lots of them.
然后有一次也被那个摩提，
And one time,
摩提你们知道？
do you
国语
know
怎么
what
讲？
muki? How do you say that in Chinese?
水蛭，这个吸住我的脚，因为
It's
那
what's
黑黑
that?
的一条，把它拉哦， 它变成长的，
It's like what's that
而
called?
且它的嘴哦，钻到我的皮肤里面吸血，
Like a
吸血，它不会放。
slug, you know, it's like a slug but it would stick to your skin and then draw blood. And then someone said that you can pee on it.
用那个尿水给它滴在它的身上，它就会。
Yeah, it's a leech. Yeah.
否则不会脱掉，它就是把你
So otherwise, it would just get stuck on your skin. It's kind of soft and
它会
chewy, you know.
但是还不
It would be like rubbery,
我咬得好
but
紧
it will not let go of your skin.
撒一泡尿，
So they got stuck on my skin for a long time, and you really have to
勾住高的
pee
旁边
on them before they release your skin,
装起来，给它弄一弄，它才会掉下来。
and then they would drop.
那摸了很多的蜡，猛蜡，那在土里面，它会钻在土，
They would
差不多土的
hide
表面上。
under the sand, like the mud, and then you open them, and on the surface you would be able to get lots of those tiny clams.
抓很多的蜡，
And I went swimming and got some clams, and I also caught some fish.
钓鱼，人家是钓，
People fish,
我是抓鱼。
but I caught it. I caught the fish. I don't know how I did it.
你去抓它是抓不到的，它们游
It's
得
impossible for
很快。
for you to catch fish. They swim very fast,
鱼的头上，
but my hand is very strange. Like if I place my hand on top of the fish would stay there.
轻轻地摆动。
Like if this is a
那我的
fish
手放在
and my hand would be on top of the water
不动，
and the fish would stay,
那我的手一抓，
then I would catch the fish.
那它会滑，会
But
会
it's
溜
slippery.
就把它抛上岸。
Then I would just throw it to the bank. Then the fish
它
would be
也
mine.
有些那个是基拉西，叫做
Yes,
一种叫做达
some kind of fish.
知道吗？
Taya.
达亚，国语怎么讲？
How do you say that in
基拉
Chinese?
语当然是吉语。达亚呢？没有人会翻成国语，那就是达亚。
Taya. Nobody knows how to say that in Chinese.
我不
That's
是
a
用钓的，真的我不是用钓的，
Taiwanese.
我是手放
It's a
在
kind of
鱼的
carp,
上
I
面，那个
guess.
鱼就晕晕的。
And I didn't use any fishing rod. I just placed my hand
从水里
on
面
top of
这
the
样
fish, and then I just kind of catch it and throw it to the ground.
就抓鱼，
Then
然
that's
后抓那
I
个
caught some fish.
那个拿就是捡捡哦，就是抓那些蚬一堆，跟鱼放在上面，拿着水桶就回家。
So I brought the fish and those little clams home. And then I saw my mom sitting by the
他说你去
door.
问我，他说卡子，你去哪里？
And she asked me, Katsu, where have you been?
我拿
And I
了
said,
晚上煮的汤回来，
I brought something for soup this evening.
有鱼，
There are some clams and fish, and you can
还
cook
有
some
吃的
soup,
东西，我就拿回来。
food for dinner
他问我
tonight.
有没有去游泳？
And then she asked me,
我
Did you
说
swim?
我有去游泳。
And I said, Yes.
然后他跟我讲，你过
And
来
then
没
she
有关
told
系
me, It's okay. Come on. I will not beat you. Come here. It's okay. I will not beat you. So I trusted my mom. I trusted my mom's words because moms always speak truthfully. And as I walked to her, she took, what do you call that? It's like it's the end of bamboo, and then she beat me until both my legs were red. And from then on, I knew that women always lie. Woman lies. But I cannot blame her because it's for my own good. I swim everywhere, like on the ditch, in the ocean, and a swimming pool. I love to swim. I swam everywhere, and I knew how to dive, like in the ocean, at the cave there. I mean, at the very deep part of the ocean. I took a breath, and then I would go to the bottom. It's the same. I also caught some shells and clams. And sometimes I got huge rock. And at the bottom of the ocean, there it's very light. I brought it up using the frog style. But as soon as it got out of water, it became very heavy, and then I couldn't hold it, and then it would drop back to the water. But at the bottom of the water, it was very light, so I dived very deeply, and then I pick up the rock to the surface of the water, and then let it drop back. If I got tired from swimming, then there is a pillar at that, then I would just hold to that to rest a little bit. And there are also lots of shells on that pillar. And outside it's the ocean. And then inside, it's like the inside the like a cove. So it's rather there are no waves. Because I love swimming, I was beaten by my mom and dad many times. So if at that time we have hotline for abuse, then I may have called. Nowadays, parents cannot beat their children, but in the past, parents love to beat their children. So Mahachundi, Buddha Mother told me that you did not but to deliver these tiny clams. And I thought, right, how come I didn't think of it before? I have but to delivered everything else, including dragonflies, the flies that I caught when I was little. I caught butterflies. I caught the crickets. Not crickets.
吃双叶的，我们还
It's
养蚕。
the crickets that are on the trees. When you were young, you caught all those little insects.
我也超度了，
So
那
like
个松鼠我也
cicadas
超度了，
and
包括家里的老鼠、蟑螂，我
owls
全部都
and
超度了。
squirrels and mice, cockroaches in the
居
house,
然忘掉拿，
and yet I forgot the
那主持
clams.
我还知道我拿没有超度。
And Mahajundi even knew
你说
that I
他
did
的
not
法
but to
力多
deliver the tiny clams. So you can see what the tremendous Dharma power she has.
对了，我连摸题我都超度过，写字啊，那个字我都超度了。既然
I
我写
even
那个
but to deliver the leech,
这
but
是我
I
唯一的
forgot.
遗忘，他
I
就告诉
forgot
你
the
你
tiny
拿
clams. And the only one that I forgot, and yet she knew and she told me to but to deliver
可
that.
见他的法力很高，他看
So
得非常
see,
清
you can tell that
啊！我前天呢
that's
才把
she has great Dharma power.
给他超度，然后超度。
So
今
the
天
day
我也
before
想
yesterday, I but to delivered all those tiny
把那
clams.
个拿超度，因为我所吃过的东西啊，我
So
都超度。
all
我连
the
熊
fruit
掌
that
都
I
吃过。
have eaten, I but to delivered
熊
them.
掌是在哪里
I
吃的？
have
就是
eaten
在西
even
雅图
the
吃的。
palms of bears,
西雅图有一个餐馆
and
的
I
老
ate
板
it in Seattle.
到深山去打猎，
There was
打了
a
熊
boss in Seattle who hunted
他自己
bear,
做餐馆，他叫厨师把熊掌煮出来。
and because he opened a
然后
restaurant,
他
he
那时
asked
候啊
the
我还
cook
有
to
空，
prepare.
现在比较没有空。
At this time, I had some time,
也是弟，他打
and
电
the
话
boss of the restaurant
师尊你要不要来吃？
is also a
就吃什
disciple,
么？吃熊掌。
and so he
我说
called
好，那我就
me
去。
and asked, "Do you want to
熊掌像什么？
come dine at my restaurant? To eat what?
Xiang.
To eat the palms of the
有
bears."
点像海参，有
It's
点
a
像
little like the sea
它的皮
cucumber. It tastes a little
有点
bit
像
like sea cucumber. The
熊
skin.
掌。我们中国人有一句话讲“鱼与熊掌不可兼得”，就是说你要吃
There's a
就吃
Chinese idiom.
鱼跟熊掌是不一样的东西，为什么会摆在一起？
So you don't place fish and the palms of bears together because they're different. The palms of the bears are very tasty and also
吃
fish.
过一种东西，我们从来没有吃过。
And in Hong Kong too, I eat something that I never had before.
当然，我指的不是狗肉。
Of course, it's not dog's meat.
这里如果有老外的话，对不起，因为老外是。
I apologize to
香港
the
人吃狗肉以前
people who love
香港
dogs.
现在没有狗肉。香港听说也不可以吃狗肉。
But
对不
from
对
what I know now, it is
香港
prohibited
现在
to
不
eat
能吃狗
dog's
肉。
meat in Hong Kong too.
但是我去到香港，人家还去特别去深圳，把狗肉买了到香港来。
But when I went to Hong Kong, someone went to Shenzhen and bought dog's meat
是
for me. And who did that?
十善堂的莲心上师去这个深圳买狗肉，
Master
回来
Lin
给
Chin
我吃
from the 13th
他知道我
chapter.
以前当过军人，军人呢，这个军营的
He
旁边
knew
经常吊一个红灯，
that I was in the
上面写
military.
香肉，香肉
And in the military camp, there was a
挂一个红
red
灯，
light
我们晚上
and there's
就军
a
区里面
board
煮了一锅，
like and said it's
一锅
the
一直滚
delicious
一直滚一
meat.
直滚
And they would cook a pot of boiling something. one black. The best one is the black dog. Huh? And the second best is the yellow one. So that's why I always eye Sharon's dog, because her dog is black. Good thing I don't stay here for winter. Otherwise, anytime I see a black dog, my eyes would glitter. So the best kinds of dogs is the black dog, and the second one is the yellow one, and then the third one is the multicolored one. So of course I ate some dog's meat, because in the military we ate dog's meat, and then I ate once in Hong Kong too, but nowadays I don't anymore. So I Bardo delivered them too. Talking about it makes me salivate. So I Bardo delivered dogs too. Everything. So Mahajuni Buddha Mother was very responsive. The only one that I forgot was those tiny clams. I Bardo delivered dogs, cats, mice, everything else. Now let's continue to talk about Lamdre. Sometimes, if you can master Bardo deliverance, it's actually very simple. You can chant the deliverance mantra and form the Great Ocean Deliverance Mantra. And then you visualize like one dog that becomes all dogs, or one elephant that becomes like the whole plain of elephants. One human being becomes many, many people. Man, woman, young and old, and you Bardo deliver them all. And then you form the Bardo deliverance mudra, and then you visualize, and then you recite the deliverance mantra. And there would truly be Buddha's light appearing right in front of you. At noon today, I saw the Buddha's light. This afternoon, when I came back, when I drove back at around 4, and I drank some water, and I closed my eyes, and I saw multi-lights appearing right in front of my eyes. There's some rounds, there's some in square, and very, very bright lights. And when the lights came down, it was very brilliant. And when you Bardo delivered, you let the light bring you up. Most Bardo deliverance would be green, and the spirits are tiny. Like where in the blazing light, there's lots of these tiny green people around the fire. And then when the Buddha's light descend, some are round, some are squares, and they would take the green people, enclose them, and then brought them up. If you have the divine eyes, then you would be able to see. The other day, the ones that I saw were on the left, over 10 of them, and they were shown, the Buddha's light shone on them, and then enclose them with the Buddha's light, and then take them back up to the sky. So you would, if you have the divine eye or the third eye, by practicing Mahajundi Dharma practice, then you would be able to see. Like this afternoon, I saw them too. When I closed my eyes, not just bright light, white lights, but inside it, there's also brilliant, very, very bright, brilliant, glittering lights that would there are about 2 or 3 rays that are very, very bright. And also the light of Homa is also very beautiful. So they would enclose the spirits and then bring them to the heavens, to skies. So the Homa tomorrow is that of Golden Mothers, and Golden Mother can deliver many beings. So today we will talk about Lamdre. It talks about applying the work. So the real application. If signs of sure death appear and nothing can save him or her anymore, there are 4 kinds of rites that can be done. Right there and then, right then and there. The first one is rites for good rebirth. Second, rites for transferring consciousness, which I talked about last week. Third is rites for rebirth at other continents. And fourth is rites of the Mahamudra path. So I will, there'll be explanations for each of them. But I will first talk about rebirth at other continents. And why do I talk about this? Because in this human world we know this is America, and then Asia in the east, and then Far East and Southeast. Africa, Europe, Australia, and those are continents on earth. But here, birth at other continents, it doesn't talk about the earth. In Buddhism, we talk about the 4 major continents in the north, south, east, and west. I don't know how the translator will translate about this. In the east, there's the Purvavideva, and then Jambudvipa in the south, and Aparagodaniya and in the west, and Uttarakuru in the north. This is difficult to translate, but there must be some correct terms for them. The Monkey King is in the Purva Videva continent in the east. And inside it there's a death monkey, and that's the Monkey King. So Monkey King belonged to the continent in the east. And our earth belongs to the continent in the south, which is Jambudvipa. So human beings live in the south continent of Jambudvipa. So these continents do not refer to the continents on earth, but it's like a better realm, like the heavens. So the east continent of Purva Videva is like a heaven, or the east continent of Aparagodaniya, or the north continent of Uttarakuru. But the earth is in the south continent of Jambudvipa. That's the human world, and it's also the heavenly realm of desire. So it mentioned here, so you use the syllable to seal the gates, and yet you leave the Sanskrit whole, and it talk about not practicing, but it also teach to practice. At the moment of sure death, perform the beginning part of the Dharma practice. At the moment of death, according to the race empowerment, or one also can skip it. For the main practice, it's crucial to sit upright according to the formula, with one's back leaning on a support, the fingers crossed at the back of the head. Use the syllables, seal all the holes except the one that leads you to the realm that you wish for. Visualize clearly at the heart area the sit syllable home on top of a mundus, which the heart relies on. So, and say the syllable CG 20 times to raise it to the throat chakra, and on the 21st time guide it to shoot out from the open orifice. So the hole to the heavenly, that's the good rebirth, which is the heavenly realm of desire, the form and no form. And also rebirth in the human worlds is also considered good rebirth. So human realms and above is good. So Asura, human beings, heavenly beings, they are all good rebirth. But not the others. This is the first right. So at the moment of death, if you want to be born in a good rebirth or to the heavenly realm of form, so at the moment of sure death, you can do the beginning part of the Dharma practice, or you can skip it, because you may not have enough time because you're about to die. If you still perform the beginning part, like the great prostrations, offerings, and refuge, and for immeasurables, then you'll probably die already. No time for it. So you just do the main practice.
所以我常常讲，我们修法的时候，
So that's why I often say, if you have
就
time,
前行
then
正
you
行
do the
后行
beginning part, the main part, and the ending part. Then you have to do them all.
你如果时间很短，你要
But
出门
if
了，
your
你就修
your
正
time
行就
is
好。
extremely tight, like
正
you're
行
about
是
to
什
go
么？
to leave, then you just do the main
观
practice.
想
And what is
持
it?
咒
Visualization,
入三昧
mantra chanting, and
就是
entering
正
into
行
samadhi.
观想
Visualization, chanting
入三昧
mantra,
地
entering
就是
into
正行
samadhi. That's the main
其他的
practice.
前行
The rest,
啊，像
like
四
in the
皈依
beginning part of the
四无量
practice, like
心
fourfold refuge, four immeasurables,
大
repentance,
礼拜
great
大供养
prostration, great
都是前
offering,
行。
those are all the
后
beginning
面的
part. And the ending
后行
part
是什么？回向
is merit dedication,
回向出定大礼
exiting
拜
from samadhi, great
啊很虔诚
prostration,
的祈祷，都是
praying,
属于后行。
sincere praying. They are all the ending
正
part
行
of
就
the
是观
practice.
想最
And
重
the
要，
main practice, the
观
most
想
important, is
持咒
visualization,
入三昧地
mantra
这
chanting,
三样
and
是属
entering
于
into
正行。
samadhi. These three are
那这
considered
里
the
面
main practice.
他有提到正行的
So
时候，
here it is written,
你身
for the
要
main
端坐
practice, your body
要
has to
觉
sit upright
还是最重要的。
according to the
身
key
端坐
formula.
也就
This
是
is very
第
important,
五七支坐。
which is the 7
要
postures
死
of
的时候，你还
Vairocana.
能闭如七支坐
So,
吗？
but when you're about to
当
die,
然
can
没
you
办法
sit
啦。
in that posture? Of course
那
not.
我就教你一个方法，
So let
七
me
日
teach
之
you a
后，
method, the method
你
to
倒
attain
下来
Buddhahood
观
in
想
7
自己
days.
本身就会
You
是
lay
后
down
日，
and you visualize
自己
yourself
身
to
体
be a
想成一个
home,
后日，
sit syllable. Your
那
body
西
is
空呢
home.
想成一个阿字，
And the sky, you
阿字的
visualize
勾
it to
勾
be
啊，
the
勾
sit
住那
syllable
个后
ah.
日的圈
And the
圈，
hook of this ah syllable
然后一伸，
hook on the circle of the home syllable.
然后往上一起，
And with one sound, ah,
就
home,
可以。
you will
这个
lift it
气
up.
是要靠气，靠你身体
You are
的
lifted
那
up.
最后那一口气。
But you have to rely on your vital energy, your
你
last
要
breath.
走的时候，你身要端坐，那个要诀。
So when you're about to die, the key formula is to sit upright in the 7 postures of Vairocana,
靠背，那个时
with
候
one's
不
back
能
leaning
不靠，
on
也
a
不靠
support.
背倒
Because
所以
if
你要
there's no
靠
support, you may fall.
背啊，靠住这个
So
背跟墙靠，
you want to lean on a back or
手
support or
指
the
交
wall.
叉，
The
你把
fingers crossed at the back
手
of the
指
head.
交叉放在脑后面，放在脑
You place it at the back of the head.
应用的方法跟我所讲的一样哦。
So this
以智
application is the same as what I
遮一切
said.
外门
And use the syllables to seal all the orifices.
告诉你，那时候智就用蓝色的
Use the blue home
我师父
syllable.
教我的蓝色
I
的后
my
字
guru
就好
taught me
不要
this.
想其他的字，
Just the blue home. That's good enough. You don't need to use any
先
other
把这个
syllables.
底下
Any other
恶道
syllables. You first
到恶
block
道的先
the path at the bottom
关注，就是
to the evil
一个是
realms.
这个叫做古道。
One is
古道就是大便的地方嘛，就是古道。
the anus,
水道就是小便的
the
地方，
green
就是
path.
水道。
and then the
这
water
两个地
path,
方
which is the
前面
place
是
where you
蓝色
urinate.
后日后
And
日
you use the blue
你
home
用观想
to seal them.
我那时候不
You
会
use
不会
visualization.
用这个牵示法，你观想那
And
里
if you don't know how to guide the verses, you visualize the blue home to seal the bottom 2
给它
holes.
封起来，最好妒忌这里也有一个蓝色的后面封
And
起来
It's best to have the blue home at the navel,
嘴巴
and then
蓝
the
色
7
后面
orifices on the
两个
head,
鼻孔
the
两个
mouth,
蓝色
the
的
2
红色
nostrils, 2
两个
blue
耳朵
home,
蓝色的
and
后面
2 blue
后
home
面
on
封起来
the ears,
两个眼睛
and 2
蓝色的
blue
后面
homes on the eyes,
留下了眉心，
and you just leave the brow point and the apex,
跟顶窍重要的。
the important
然
ones.
后呢，再怎么样的？
And then
观心间，
you visualize clearly
你那时候还有一口
the
气
chi or vital energy
在，
at the
有一口
heart
气在
area.
就是
You still have your
观
breath,
想灵观，
and
很
you
清楚地
visualize
观想
clearly,
心际的气。
lucidly,
我们身上的气有上行气，
the chi at the heart area. Inside our body, there's the upper chi, lower chi, the peripheral chi, the fire accompanying chi, and the life chi.
就是心际
So
的
at
气。
the moment of death, the one that you can use is the heart
在哪里？
chi
叶轮的上
at
方，
the
你的心
heart
就变成
chakra.
一个叶，
Your heart becomes a lotus blossom, and on top of it there's a mundus. At the center of the mundus there's the heart chi,
心之所依
the heart vital energy. And there's also home on top of the mundus. There's also a blue home inside the heart.
念咒
And then you say, you chant
希冀
the syllable si ji 20 times.
希冀
Si ji
希就变成
20 times.
希冀就是成 he
Si ji becomes he. He.
告诉你
So you just say he
20声把这个气提到
20 times. And then you rise the chi to the throat. And on the 21st time,
气
si,
就把
he.
这一口气就射出去，
And then you guide it to shoot out from the open orifice or from the brow point.
就到散气的地方。
Then you would go to the good rebirth realm.
但是重点在哪里？你可以
But the key point here is you can visualize the blue homes, but the last breath, the last chi at the heart,
蓝色的红日
you shoot out the blue home
从顶窍这里不要用红日遮，这里也不要
where
红日遮。
the apex and the brow point has
出去也可以，
no
从顶窍出去也可以。
blue home syllables there. So you can make it leave from the apex or brow point. It's best to leave through the apex, then you can go to heavens.
低等的死法，
And this would be the best kind of death.
因为已经要死了，你最后一口气就用
Because you're about to
这个
die.
种日
That's your last breath.
希
Then you
冀
use
发音
this
变成什么
mantra, si ji,
希冀
si
像一个
ji,
力
si ji.
合起来，因为你知道
Then you
梵文
combine it.
大家知道了，梵文
As you know, Sanskrit,
字母是一个字一个字一个字，但是有时候是两个字在一起。
the
有
the
时候梵文
letters
会用
sometimes
变
are
成
single, sometimes are double, and it would become a different sound.
记是两个字
So although
是
it
两个字
is written as CG here, but you combine it to become one sound.
好像是这个如果是我是盛宴，就是练，变成一个练字，盛宴。
Like if I am Sung Yen and you combine it, then it becomes Yen.
啊，像德辉，威，
Like the Hui then becomes
所以
Wei.
希冀，
So Xi Ji becomes Li.
你发音只要发力，
So you can just pronounce it as
发
Li.
音用念咒，力
You chant the mantra as Li.
力
力
20声到20
20 times. And on the 21st time, you shoot it out of your apex. You use the sound of Li 20 times to guide it to the throat first.
这是师父教我。
So my guru taught me this about the good rebirth.
这个老王在选这个议员，每天四处奔波拉票。现在在选举。
was running for a councilman, so was campaigning everywhere because Taiwan now is campaign time, and he's very tired at night.
哼声大作。
In sleep, he was shouting, talking into. Oh, before sleep, he was talking about it. And the wife said, "I know you would be elected this time." And the husband asked, "How do you know?" Because your snores is the loudest, which is in Chinese it's also called like the campaign is loudest. So just when you're about to die, the sound of your breath would also be very heavy. You use all your power to guide and shoot out your last breath, which is your life qi or the heart qi, and you use your last power to shoot it out. Last night in my sleep I dreamt of Mazu, and Mazu did not say anything, but when I woke up, my neck felt sore and my knees were swollen and I have a headache. I had a headache. So I felt sore, swollen and painful. But in Taiwanese, it's like you should run for the presidency.
酸、肿、痛，台语的酸中痛。所以我想，
So
这个歌台名大概就是这样。
Perhaps Mr. Ge Taiming had this experience. That's why he ran for the president.
对不对？
Presidency. Because Ma Zu told him to. The neck was sore, the knees were swollen, and the head was painful. So that's why he claimed that Ma Zu asked him to run for the presidency. So only if you have seen the journey to the West, then you would laugh. This year is the year of the pig, so I have to make resolution. I have to stop drinking alcohol, stop smoking, stop cursing, stop wasting food, stop luxury living, stop lying, and stop sex.
谁能够做到这8戒的话，在今年就变成猪八戒。
That's the 8 precepts. So anyone that can do it, then you become the precept pig, which is one of the key actor in the journey of the West. These are all very good. As sadhaka, you cannot drink alcohol, you cannot smoke, you cannot gamble, you cannot curse on other people, you cannot waste food, you cannot be too wasteful, and you also need to stop your desire too much.
哎，这个也很有道理。我们人老了就很值钱。
This makes sense.
以后
A human being, as you grow old, then you would be very precious. You know, like Grandmaster too. As he grows old, he becomes more precious. Sometimes I met a Caucasian and they look at me and ask me, how old are you? And I told them 75. And they couldn't believe me. They could not tell the age of Asians. So if you're over 75, please raise your hands. There's one there. Yeah, I can tell from your age marks on your face. And the old Bodhisattva. They're all quite old. Do I look 75? Sometimes I feel 75. I look like I'm 75. When we grow old, we are very precious. Why? Because your hair becomes silver. So silver is more precious, right? And your teeth have gold. Because when you have dentures, then you would have gold. Maybe if you have money, you can have gold crowns or diamond crowns. Then lots of money inside your teeth. If someone asks you for directions, then you go like this, pointing to your teeth, to the diamonds inside your teeth. You're asking me? Do you know? There's even sugar in your pee. So that's wealthy, right? So how could there be a sugar in pea? So it must be very wealthy. And there are gems in the kidneys, kidney stones. And as you grow old, there's another benefit that you never thought of. There is unceasing natural gas. So what is that? You talk to someone, or you're being asked something, and you go poof. That's natural gas. Natural gas is expensive now. So, as you grow old, you are really valuable. Jeez, that's all for tonight. Om Mani Padme Hum.